third commands are already lifting off, which is a little bit unusual.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when you do see a Zerg
this is really
scout
early, man. This is
the early third.
the 8-minute mark, and Sleep has a Ling position there to, you know, kind of deny that command center landing. It will get chased off by these Hellions, but I mean, he already knows that they're. Oh man, Sleep, you're so good. Look at that. It's like, oh, you kill off my Ling there. I'm just gonna pull my Ling back a little bit. Wait till your CC lands.
And look at this, Baneling Nest and 14 more Lings coming up, as well as that +1 melee and +1 Carapace. So we'll see if he decides to get aggressive. Like I was mentioning, a lot of times if the Zerg scouts it, you kind of just use it as a way to increase your SCV count early on. But I guess because he's holding that center with a lot of Hellions and that Banshee, he feels confident in actually lifting that over.
But here we go. We have the Hellions coming forward. A good transfuse goes down on that Spinecrawler that was getting a little bit low. Banshees deal damage. They have such high DPS. You know, not only do they two-shot workers. I actually like the fact that they two-shot workers. I think that that's good. But they shoot so quickly that sometimes the DPS of them is a little bit silly. But Sleep nonetheless prepared. He had the 3 queens down there.
And here we have a run by right before the wall goes down at that third base. Sleep gonna get a couple extra kills here, maybe target down the SCVs. There are 3 Marines here, so this isn't gonna be able to do too much damage, but a nice little bit of harassment, kind of essentially wasting 3 or 4 mules, it looks like.
Oh, and a queen gets sniped off by Dream. Beautiful. Targeting it with the 2 Banshees, and then coming down, of course, with the Hellions for the final shot off. 1 Banshee so low, though, has to pull back. And Sleep actually pulling a Spore Caller down at the front, wants to be defended.
And right now, 28 more Lings, so he's kind of stockpiling his Lings here, starting his Baneling speed upgrade. Also has that macro hatch in the main, so he's going to be able to pump out a ton of units if he decides to be aggressive. Otherwise, he can just make a lot of rounds of drones here. Looks like he's running off of 3 gas currently.
No, 4 gas, because he's got one of the natural, one of the third.
Oh, one of the third, okay.
Yeah, he is on 4 gas on 3 base, so he's definitely very, very mineral heavy and not really looking to tech a whole lot off of this. So we might see a huge all-in play out of Sleep, or at least some big aggression. Here come a lot of Lings forward. Are they going to be able to get the surround on the Hellions? It does not look like they will. They'll catch some of them here. Oh, but there are so many Hellions. They do get to the point where they are one-shotting Lings, Thunder Toss, and that means they're so cost-effective. And now with the Raven out, this is beautiful play out of Dream. I cannot stress enough how long I've been waiting for Terrans who open Banshee to make 1 Raven before they get that medevac production up, because the Raven allows you to clear out creep the entire game. And you know what? You know what you'll never die to if you have a Raven with your army?
What's that?
Burrowed Banelings. Freaking hate Burrowed Banelings.
Burrowed Banelings are so sick. I try to teach all my Zergs to start utilizing them. And this is going to be really okay, Ling's actually taking down a lot of the Hellions in the center here. So that Raven just kind of watching over as the Hellions all die. And right now, Sleep actually able to start that 4th base over here at the 6 o'clock.
And this is actually is kind of a dangerous 4th to take. Especially with the positioning with where the Terran is, because there's such an easy alley for the Terran to just kind of push down and into that 4th base until you clear out those destructible rocks. But all the Hellions now have been killed. The Banshee is going to kill as many creep tumors as it can, because that Banshee plus that Raven, man, that's hard to deal with. I mean, there's a Queen out, but point defense drone nullifies Queen shots.
And looks like we have Sleep going for a Hive right now, as a little bit of auto turret harass here at the 3rd base.
And the Banshee really as well, man. And the Banshee as well. So I don't know if I would have spent all of the energy there on those auto turrets, but that's a beautiful auto turret positioning there. So it's going to kill off a ton of Lings.
Yeah, also killed off what looks like 2 drones there. But right now, that should be the end of it. There's 1 auto turret left being DPS down. And there goes the Queen. Should be able to finish it off. Right now, Sleep did take down the rocks to that 6 o'clock base.
Dream. Look at this, man. He has such a supply lead right now, Thunder Toss. This is looking really scary for Sleep. And drop at the same time at that 4th base, it looks like, unloading just in range of it, just after it finished. Sleep's going to go for a little bit of a counterattack, but there are forces there ready for him, and he does have to pull back.
Yeah, just buying himself a little bit of time. We see that Hive about to finish some of the other upgrades as well. And now a huge round of Lings. So that Ling little counterattack now going to be able to take care of the drop at the 4th base.
Oh,
but it looks like the rest of the units for Dream are just going to take it out.
He's going to lose. And a drop in the main at the same time. Thunder Toss, the Corruptors are there to kill off the Medevacs. But is there enough there to pick off everything else? Wow, beautiful Baneling hits. Finish it all off. And those Corruptors were able, again, to take out that those medevacs. So no continued aggression there, and it also means you have to be much more careful about stimming.
But right now, MVP Dream looks like he's in a great position. We see a 4th base floating over towards the gold base. And Sleep right now currently on 3 bases, trying to establish his tech. We do see the Ultras, Cavern, and Greater Spire coming up in parallel once again. But right now, he's just trying to retreat from this massive Bioforce in the center. The Baneling's trying to retreat. And again, that Overseer, or sorry, that Raven with the Banshee able to clear out so much creep. And that's just giving him so much room to work with here.
Blue Flame finished as well. Don't often see that upgrade in the Terran arsenal this late in the game, just starting to come in. But he's going to go down and deny this 4th base once again. And Sleep really needs to be on more than 6 gas. And, you know, Dream is just playing a beautiful game, continually denying that from Sleep. We do see 3 Marines trying to deny this top hatch. Oh, it's going to go down. No cancel there. So a little bit of miscontrol. And another drop in the main. That's easily going to be able to take out a ton of these drones, especially with those Blue Flame Hellions, forcing Sleep to come back in. And amazing positioning. Oh, he's targeting the spawning pool. This could actually be huge if he gets it. It's going to be so close. But the Lings do manage to get the surrounding cleared up, but a 300 hit point spawning pool could go down so quickly, Thunder Toss.
And looks like Sleep actually cleaned up that massive push towards the center of the natural. But right now, still with the supply deficit, 156 to 138. Not the position you want to be in. But now that Greater Spire is finished, we do have 2 Broodlords on the way. But again, still only running off of those 3 bases, as we do see that planetary finish for Dream at the 4th base. Also constructing his 5th over at the 12 o'clock. And still holding the center, continuing to use that multi-prong harassment that almost got him back into that game last time.
Oh, and the 2 Broodlords in the main. They're getting targeted by these Marines right now. MVP Dream with another beautiful, and he takes down one of the Broodlords. A great snipe for him. He's going to lose that force there, but he's just dropping the main again. No, he's not. He is everywhere at once, macroing back home. His economy is about to explode as he gets this 5th base up. And, I mean, Dream's macro is phenomenal. Look at this guy. 186 supply and climbing. Sleep
and
at 152.
Double drop in the main right next to the spawning pool. Once again, able to pick off the Queen in the main instantly. And now Sleep trying desperately to get to those units, but beautifully placed behind the middle line. The spawning pool goes down, but again, the Corruptor is able to take down the medevacs, so those units are going to be forfeit here. As Sleep just still trying to recover, though. He's got a couple of Broodlords that are still left over at the natural here, about 4 of them. But the rest of his army is looking incredibly sparse.
I mean, and one of the big things about losing the spawning pool that I think isn't mentioned enough is the fact that you lose that spawning pool, you cannot make queens. And if Dream is continually killing off your queens and you can't make any more, you run out of larva.
And Dream right now is transferring to his 5th base, working on ship weapons level 2. So his Vikings already have +1 weapons. And where is that Ghost Academy? There it is. He's actually queued up Mobius Reactor and Personal Cloaking once again. So wants to go for that really interesting strategy of utilizing these ghosts into the late game. But I don't even know if it's going to come to that. We see another drop at the 3rd base, targeting down the hatchery of Sleep. And it looks like it's definitely going to fall here. Sleep just with not any units here. And just been being pulled apart right now, as now the drone's falling as well. The units stimming up. They are going to even be able to get out of there, I think. The Corruptors are just a little bit too far away. But, oh, the Infestor is just not be able to get the fungal off in time. Not enough energy.
No, this is just a terrible situation for Sleep to be in. He's being dropped at 2 sides of his base constantly throughout the entire game. There are Vikings on his side of the map harassing his Broodlords as they're morphed. And the name of the game for Dream has been expansion denial, Thunder Toss. Sleep has not been able to get up a 4th base at all throughout this game. And I mean, part of that is the map architecture, but part of it has just been the fact that Dream has completely shut down creep spread for Sleep with that Banshee Raven play to open it up.
Yeah, and I think Dream also realized last game that if he was multitasking as fast as he can, that he was just completely outpacing Sleep. Sleep just had no answer for the last game. And this game, without taking any early damage, I think Dream has just been able to take that to a different level. We see these medevacs constantly all over the place. We see the creep receding once again from that 6 o'clock as the hatchery continually being denied. And now he's got that full army of Ghosts and Vikings. Personal Cloaking about 80% of the way done. And another command center coming up for Dream.
Yeah, I mean, he is just all over the place. I mean, expanding to his opponent's side of the map at this point with Marines on patrol, checking for hidden expansions. He's just, you know, crossing his T's, dotting his I's, and, you know, saying, well, this one is pretty much in the bag. I just need to play solid from here on out. The Broodlords are going to put a little bit of some pressure on that planetary, but the Ghosts cloaking, running up, they're going to be able to get the snipes. Oh, beautiful fungal on all the Ghosts, but I don't think it's going to matter as, you know, the Vikings are doing so much damage. But Corruptor's here. Sleep actually playing this really well with control of the high ground. He's going to lose an infestor some of those Marines, but a good fungal goes down. But I think Dream just has too much. The Marines stimming underneath the Broodlords. GG out of x6Sleep.
Wow, what a well-played game there by Dream. Again, just utilizing such a massive multitasking advantage, and Sleep just could not recover from that, continually losing those side bases over and over and over again. And we saw there the Cloak Ghost baiting out those fungals, and he just did not have enough left over to keep the Marines from getting underneath those Broodlords. And again, that double tech just not working out for him since he was only able to get up to those essentially 3 bases the entire game.
Only able to get up to, and like I said, I mean, it really just comes down to keeping the Zerg off 4 bases. And the way that Sleep plays, he has to get bases number 4 and 5. He does not play for the I'm going to get 3 bases and then do a big all-in or something like that. He plays for the I am just going to kind of get as many bases as I can, play defensive, play defensive, play defensive, until I have my Ultra Broodlord, Corruptor, Infestor, everything else I want army. Then he goes and really puts the hurt on you.
Yep, so this next map is actually going to be Cloud Kingdom. I definitely understand this choice from Sleep. A lot easier to actually take a 4th base, but not wide enough that MVP's multitasking will overwhelm Sleep, I think.
So it looks like both players are ready. We're going to go ahead and get the game started. I am Gwen. With me is ThunderToss. If you've enjoyed the game so far, please follow us on Twitter. People can find me at GwenCraft. And, of course, you can find ThunderToss at ThunderToss.
Indeed. Make it easy for everybody.
Making it easy. You know, I tried to get at Gwen, but Twitter was like, you can't have a Twitter account that's only 4 characters. I was very upset by that. But here we go. Sleep as our Red Zerg in the upper position here on Cloud Kingdom. And in the blue, who is it, ThunderToss?
MVP Dream, giving us a really, really nice game last time. We'll see what he can do this time. Again, I'm guessing that he's going to want to try to push the multitasking of Sleep. It looks like he definitely has an advantage in that area, and we'll see if he can do that this game. Again, the map architecture, the first 3 bases, kind of that triangular position. The drop's not going to be able to spread Zerg out as much, but we'll see what Sleep can do on this map.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, on the last map that we saw there on, you know, Antigua Shipyard, if Sleep maybe had laid down more static defenses against some of those drops, especially when he was starting to bank up in the mineral count, he might have been able to hold that stuff a little bit better. He might have been able to deflect more of those drops, but he didn't really lay down as many static defenses as I've seen some other Zergs do, and it's a trade-off, right? It's like, well, I'm going to spend, you know, 1,000 minerals on static defenses or 4,000 minerals on static defenses, and because I'm doing that, I can't do this other thing. But what is the other thing that Sleep was missing in that game?
You know, I'm not really sure, but I think that static defense argument, a lot of times we see Zergs do that once they get into that late game where they're starting to approach max, but again, MVP Dream, he went for such a greedy build, going for that command center first into factory, straight into starport, and then going instantly into that 3rd CC, which meant that he was starting that medevac drop.
3rd CC before the starport.
Exactly, but he was starting that medevac drop and that pressure way before Zerg is looking to add on all those static defenses.
That's true.
And so Sleep just did not really have an answer for it. He was wanting to continue to drone, but then MVP just ran away with it. And Dream just looks so strong, but we'll see if Sleep recognizes that he's going to have to punish Dream if he goes for something that greedy again.
And we see CC first again, so Command Center first is the name of the game for Dream. He's like, well, worked last game, going to do it again this time. And, you know, one of the kind of the advantages here, and Sleep, I believe, does see this, the CC first. If you can check his vision for me for a moment. Yep. He does. I mean, this is one of those things where the 3rd base of the Zerg is actually quite close to the natural of the Terran. And if Terran is on 2 base pushing a 3 base Zerg, the push distance is quite short, and it's easy to run in and deny even that third. So we might see Dream get these 2 bases up and then play super aggressive off those 2 bases just to try and keep Zerg back on 2. Because once you get the third up and then you're trying to establish the fourth, like once the third is up and established, it's a bit easier to just kind of hold it, right?
Right.